Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who is joining us here on the show right now. Right now, it is 4 minutes after 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm coming on the air now nearly 2 hours after a major earthquake hit Northern California, off the coast of Northern California. This was a major earthquake, okay? It came out as a 6.6 earthquake, and it later came out just moments later as a 7.0. Then it got upgraded again to a 7.2, and now USGS has downgraded it to a 7.0 magnitude earthquake. This earthquake was very shallow, 1/3 of a mile deep, a total of 1,968.5 feet deep, 1,968.5 feet deep. This is a very shallow earthquake. Last night we talked about the possibility of a good-sized large to major earthquake happening in California last night. Now we've had that earthquake. This is off the coast of Northern California. Give me a second and I will bring up the USGS map for you to see where this earthquake was. This is a very deep very shallow but very large earthquake. And I'm not going to paint anybody a pretty picture. I'm just not going to do that. Okay? I'm not going to do that at all. But rather, what I want to do is give you realistic information about exactly what happened today off the coast of Northern California. You can see this earthquake now. Okay? I'm showing you the earthquake live right now off the coast. Okay? This is what happened. You can see the aftershocks here as well. But the United States Geological Survey dipsticks are not even showing all the earthquakes. Right now we have well over 100 earthquake aftershocks. And folks, since this is a major earthquake, I want to tell you right now, we're going to have aftershocks here for a very long time. We're going to have aftershocks here for a very long time. I'm just giving you a heads up. You all deserve to know what's going on. Okay? I want you to know what happened here. They're not showing all the earthquakes here at all. Now, there might be some speculation by some people. There may be some speculation by some people that may think that this was a man-made earthquake. It's not. This was not a man-made earthquake at all. This is a very shallow earthquake. Very, very shallow earthquake. HAARP had nothing to do with this. And yes, I just used that name. I do not want to see that name come out on the chat. Okay? Please don't use that. I may get my hand slapped over that one. Hurricane Heather says aftershocks are still coming out, and she's absolutely right. But right now we have over 100 aftershocks, and USBS is not showing them. US dumb schools. Okay? Idiots. These people are idiots. They're not showing much of anything going on, and they are wrong. They are wrong. Now, off the shore of Northern California here, on the Gorda Escarpment, there is an active tsunami buoy, as I'm showing you here. There is an active tsunami buoy here. This proves that the earthquake was a major earthquake. Okay? It was a major earthquake. The tsunami buoys have moved. That means the ocean floor moved. The ocean floor moved and probably still is moving. I'm not painting a pretty picture. This could get worse. Okay? This could get much worse. Now, again, this was a 7.0 major earthquake. Okay? I want to show you something else. Okay? This will show you how stupid USGS really is. I want to show you this. Okay? This shows you the back seismologist study page here. Okay? It's showing a 7.03 magnitude earthquake with no station details contributed. It shows 6 stations reporting here. 6 stations reporting. Let me enlarge this here so you can see what I'm showing you here. Okay? A 7.03 major earthquake. Again, it was upgraded to 7.2. They downgraded it again to 7.03. Here's another earthquake reported. A 6.92 with 195 stations reporting. They have a 6.62 here with 97 stations reporting. However, they have no station details here at all. Okay? So what they're saying here is they are reporting a 6.92 earthquake. Now, I have gone through the entire back seismologist study page. They only have about 10. They only have about 10 7.0 or larger earthquakes listed on their earthquake list, on their sensor list. The sensor list is reporting stations. Seismographs reporting. Only 10 of those seismographs reporting are reporting anything over a 7.0. They are hiding information. They themselves have reported at least a 7.0 earthquake. Yet their back seismologist study page has hundreds of sensor reports showing 6.4, 6.5, 6.8, 6.9, and even 5s and 4s. But they're only showing 10 7.0 or larger earthquakes. What a crock of crap that is. Okay? What a crock of crap that is. Hurricane Heather says the USBS parking lot was packed this morning, which is really odd. Were they expecting something, possibly, Heather? You have to question that. Terry Flores says they closed the schools and told the parents to come get their children in Northern California. Isn't that interesting? They would close the schools and tell the parents to come get their children. I find that really odd. Why? Because Northern California authorities should know better than to release children and telling their parents to come get their children. Why am I saying that? Why do you think I'm saying that? Because they know that this could have been a large earthquake. If they told the parents to come get their children, what happens if there was a bigger earthquake, a larger earthquake? They may be holding the children in the school and telling their parents to come get them. But if there is a large earthquake, what happens to the parents? The parents could be killed in their home. The parents could get killed driving to the school to pick up their children. It's a wrong thing to do. This is very much a wrong thing to do. They should have been holding those children there for a substantial amount of time. And if there's no more earthquakes, keep them here. Keep them in the school. Most of the parents that have children in school also have a cell phone that would have been notified and notifying them of an earthquake that happened. Now, I want to show you something. I'm going to enlarge my webcam here because I want to show you something that you all need to see. Okay? In Danville, California. My buddy Rob52 just sent me this right after the earthquake happened. And this is from Danville, California. Watch this. His daughter, who lives in Danville, California, has a swimming pool in their backyard. Watch the water rock back and forth inside the swimming pool. Okay? The water rocking all over the swimming pool there. Danville, California. This was a major quake. And there's still earthquakes happening, aftershocks. I find it very odd that these people, these authorities would have children and parents traveling after an earthquake like this. It's a big deal. This is a huge deal, guys. Now, some of you might be concerned about tsunamis. I was out of my house at the time this earthquake hit. I did not get back to the house until almost an hour later. Nearly an hour later. 45 minutes after the earthquake hit, I was in my office gathering data and watching the numbers come in. I looked at the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, the National Tsunami Warning Center in Palmer, Alaska. At 11:54 a.m., earthquake happened. 11:54 a.m. Pacific time, the earthquake happened. Then a very short time after that, the Tsunami Warning Center came out saying that the warning is canceled. The tsunami warning is canceled for the coastal areas of California, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska. No tsunami observations are available to report. Recommended actions. Do not reoccupy hazard zones until local officials advise you. In other words, stay away from the seashore. Stay out of harbors and marinas as well, until it's indicated by authorities that it's safe to be there. There is no destructive tsunami warning. No destructive tsunami has been recorded. No tsunami danger exists for the U.S. West Coast, British Columbia, and Alaska. Additional information. Again, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.0 occurred near the coast of Northern California at 1844 UTC, 11:54 a.m. Pacific time. Based on all available data, the tsunami threat from this earthquake has now passed. There is no tsunami threat to Hawaii. Repeat, Based on all available data, there is no tsunami threat to Hawaii or any other areas in the Pacific Basin. No tsunami threat to the Pacific Basin. Remain observant and exercise normal cautions near the ocean. Again, a major 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Petrolia, California this morning, generating a low and now discontinued tsunami warning. A now discontinued tsunami warning that stretched from Northern California, Oregon, and down into San Francisco area. Now, initial reports were saying that they were evacuating different parts of San Francisco, including the San Francisco Zoo. They have now discontinued evacuations. The quake occurred off the coast of the sparsely populated northern coastal areas of California, just offshore from the San Andreas Fault. Just offshore from the San Andreas Fault. Let me again take down my mug here. Okay? There it is. Okay? This earthquake here was just offshore of Petrolia, California. But it was miles west, about 50 miles west of the Cascadia subduction zone. That nearly straight line that's going north from this earthquake. That is the Cascadia subduction zone. At the same location where the Gorda Escarpment meets with the Cascadia subduction zone. The San Andreas Fault also meets there. This area is considered to be the Triple Junction. And then the San Andreas Fault continues to go west and south away from there and proceeds to go down along the coast of Northern California, south of San Francisco Bay, at which point in time the San Andreas Fault continues south through the rest of California. Okay? So this earthquake was just west of the Triple Junction. Okay? By 12:30 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. this afternoon, less than 2 hours after the initial quake, the area experienced 13 different aftershocks. That's by the news reports. But the news reports are wrong. Right now there are hundreds of aftershocks, ranging from 6.5. Aftershocks ranging from 6.5 down to 3.1. The USGS initially estimated that more than 150,000 people might have been exposed to earthquake shaking between just north of Fort Bragg all the way down to Eureka. In Arcata, California, just under 60 miles from Petrolia, a 25-year-old Gerald Mitchell was having an early lunch in his apartment when he felt a jolt. Mr. Mitchell says it wasn't a big or even violent shake. He said his apartment was swaying back and forth for a bit. He said it was kind of scary, like he was on a raft in the middle of the sea. Mr. Mitchell said he hasn't seen any apparent damage in his town so far. He said, "We are okay for now." Previously, again, a tsunami warning had been issued for the coastal areas starting near Fort Bragg at 11:10 a.m. and moving along the coast in northern California and southern Oregon. arriving in San Francisco by 12:10 p.m. Residents within the zone stretching from Davenport, California, northwest of Santa Cruz to the Douglas County line in Oregon were urged to move away from the water and the beach areas and evacuate inland beyond tsunami hazard zones. Evacuate inland beyond tsunami hazard zones. Yes, along the coastline, there are tsunami warning signs. I still would not be there if I were you. Okay? Now, right now, it is now just after 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. That would be 1:20 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, if I were you, I would still stay probably at least offshore, or not offshore, I'm sorry, off the coast until 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Stay away from the coastal areas until at least 3 p.m. Pacific Time. By that time, it will have been at least 4 to 5 hours after the initial earthquake. This should be sufficient time to be fairly safe to assume that nothing else is going to hit. Okay? Right now, I don't believe there's any notion to assume that there is a larger earthquake incoming. Right now, we're going to see aftershocks. Richard Smith says he counted, 35 aftershocks so far. I've seen numbers as high as 200. I've seen numbers as high as 200. Now, for those of you that have been or near the ocean, I would still get out of the water, off the beach and away from harbors, marinas, breakwaters, bays, and inlets. There is a report coming out of San Francisco that someone was on a breakwater at the entrance to the bay and was swept off the breakwater into the ocean. Now, there is a possibility, if a larger quake does occur, that there could be coastal flooding as tsunami waves would arrive on shore. If that happens, move inland. Move inland. Stay away from the ocean. Move inland and stay away from the ocean. Now, there were original reports of evacuations going on, like I said, in and around San Francisco Bay, including the evacuation of the San Francisco Zoo. But that has been canceled. Now, just briefly, I want to talk about how big a 7.0 earthquake is. We talked about magnitude. This was a magnitude 7.0 to 7.2 earthquake. Magnitude is a measurement of the strength of the earthquake. Magnitude is a measure of the strength of the earthquake. Officially, it's called the moment magnitude scale. It's a logarithmic scale, meaning each number is 10 times as strong as the one before it. So, for example, this being a 7.0 earthquake, this is 20 times stronger. The 7.0 earthquake is 20 times stronger than the 5.0. Now let me explain earthquake size. A lot of times we talk about tremors. 1.0 to 1.9 are considered to be tremors. Tremors cannot ever be felt. The shaking is far too low to be felt. 2.0 to 2.9 are considered to be minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes, for all intents and purposes, cannot be felt, except for those people that are very, very sensitive. A 3.0 to 3.9 small earthquake can be felt, and generally there's no damage. A 4.0 to 4.9 earthquake, up until this year, was considered to be a moderate earthquake. Now the USGS dumbbells are calling it light earthquakes. I've been in moderate earthquakes. I've been in large earthquakes myself. Moderate earthquakes can cause moderate damage. Moderate earthquakes, 4.0 to 4.9, can cause moderate damage. Meaning, knocking things off of shelves, knickknacks and books, knocking them off shelves. If there are plates in cupboards, the plates and glasses and bowls will rattle around. If those plates and glasses and bowls have bottoms to them and they're too close to the edge of the shelf, then those items could be knocked to the ground and break. 5.0 to 5.9 is considered right now by the U.S. dumbbells to be moderate earthquakes. They're not moderate. 5.0 to 5.9, I don't give a flan rat's frosty keister about U.S. dumbbells calling it moderate earthquakes. 5.0 to 5.9 earthquakes are large earthquakes that can cause a great amount of damage. 5.0 to 5.9 earthquakes can cause a lot of damage. 6.0 to 6.9 are considered to be strong earthquakes. 6.0 to 6.9 are considered to be strong earthquakes. Can cause major damage. 7.0 to 7.9 are considered to be major earthquakes. I'm being right up front with you. They're considered to be major earthquakes. Let there be no doubt about it. 7.0 to 7.9 are major earthquakes. They cause serious damage. Now, in the past, we've talked about the Cascadia megathrust earthquake being a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake, and we're still saying that. An 8.0 to 10.0 earthquake is still considered to be a major earthquake, causing major, massive damage that can destroy communities. Now, I'm going to also lump that into 7.0, even down to 6.5, and larger earthquakes can cause major damage and destroy communities. Most of us that have lived in Southern California have seen 6.9 earthquakes hit in San Francisco Bay, such as a 6.9 earthquake that happened on October 17th, 1989. Major damage, and it was only a 6.9 earthquake. Yes, there's not much difference between a 6.9 and a 7.0. 7.0 is 10 times, is 1% stronger than a 7.0. But it will cause major damage nonetheless. And that's exactly what happened. when that 6.9 earthquake happened on the Hayward Fault. The Hayward Fault on the east side of San Francisco Bay. That earthquake caused major damage, completely demolishing sections of the San Francisco Bay Bridge. Cars and people falling into the water, killing them. Cars and buildings being damaged and torn apart on land. Gas lines and water mains breaking, causing fires. The water mains breaking, making it almost impossible for San Francisco Fire Department to fight those fires. That was a major earthquake, by all intents and purposes. A 6.9 earthquake in San Francisco at that point in time. Major earthquake. We saw what happened there. We've seen 6.7 and 6.9 earthquakes in Los Angeles, causing major damage, destroying communities. Rob 52 was there. He saw it there where he lived. One of my police partners and I were deployed to San Francisco, or not San Francisco, I'm sorry. We were deployed to Los Angeles to help Los Angeles Police Department and other agencies patrol the streets after the earthquake. That was a major earthquake. Now, Nancy Wolfer's in the chat asking, is there another large earthquake possible with high probability? I would say no. Not with high probability. There is a possibility with any earthquake. There's a 25% possibility with any earthquake that there could be a large earthquake incoming. A 25% possibility of a much larger earthquake happening. I'm just throwing that out there for you, because those are the odds. Those are the odds. I'm telling you like it is. And everyone needs to understand exactly what is going on. I want everybody to realize what is happening. There is a 25% possibility that there could be a larger earthquake coming. Now, like I said, a 7.0 earthquake is a major earthquake. And we're going to see hundreds of aftershocks in the days and weeks to come. Catherine Sigerson says they pick up in colder weather. I believe that might be a possibility. Delete Funds is asking, did I participate in the Ardent Century 16 earthquake exercise? Yes, I did. I'm very much aware of that. Roguefish is in our chat. He's one of my friends and a moderator on this channel. He is showing this to be a 7.0 earthquake we've been talking about. This is offshore from Northern California. Offshore from Northern California. Again, do I think something else is going to happen? There is a possibility of that happening. There is a possibility of that happening. A 25% chance of that happening with any earthquake. Now, in the hours and minutes to follow this, I will be keeping a very close eye on what's going on. And I will continue to report what's happening a little bit later. I'm planning on coming back on the air in about another hour and a half. And I will let you know what happens after that. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about anything so far? I want to make sure we answer all the questions you might have. Folks, if it is a possibility, please give us a thumbs up. Please give us a thumbs up because it's part of the algorithmic factor that YouTube uses to ascertain whether they're going to let anyone else here on YouTube see this program. And I want this program to go out. I want this program to go out for a reason. Because I want to make sure that the information we just gave you goes out to as many people as possible. Roguefish is saying the Tsunami Warning Center showed a 7.3 magnitude earthquake before the downgrade. I agree. They did. USGS even said the earthquake went up from the 6.6, which is what they originally said it was. Then they said it went up to a 7.0, 7.2, and a 7.3 before they downgraded it to a 7.0. And again, they also said that there had been an aftershock. An aftershock that was a 6.4, and they downgraded that to a 5.4, a full magnitude downgrade. This is the kind of people, these are the kind of people that should not be in charge of doing anything in the way of reporting earthquakes, because they are going to get people killed. They're going to get people killed. Downgrading an earthquake of full magnitude is going to get people killed. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Deborah Reese says the 94 earthquake was weird. It flowed north and south, caused her TV to almost fall down right in front of them. She's talking about a planned meeting place. Let's take a few minutes and talk about a planned meeting place. We've talked about this briefly before in other episodes of this program. Each and every one of us should have an emergency plan. Each and every one of us as families and persons should have an emergency preparedness plan. And if there is an earthquake or any other kind of emergency, and you cannot get home, or you cannot stay in or near your home at all, you need to have a planned meeting place available so all members of your family or the people that you live with should know where you can meet up in case of an emergency where you can't go home. A planned meeting place. Now, Hurricane Heather says this earthquake was north to south as well. I have to agree from all the data that I've seen. Okay? Now, Jackie Slack is saying, people say this started in Alaska. No, it did not. This may have come out of Indonesia, made its way up the west side of the Pacific Ocean, through the Aleutian Island Fault, going into the Gulf of Alaska, and then coming down the east side of the Pacific Ocean along the coastline. There is that possibility. There is that possibility. But folks, I'm telling you right now, yes, there is seismic activity hold up in Alaska, in and around the Gulf of Alaska. There is going to be a major earthquake in Alaska. There is going to be a major earthquake in Alaska. We don't know when it's going to happen. Just like we could not even say or forecast that this earthquake was going to happen either. We cannot give you an exact date. Even last night, on our program last night, we were telling everyone that there was going to be a very large to major earthquake happen in California. And I still believe that Southern California is going to get hit. But this did come out and down the coast of Canada and the United States and came to rest just north of San Francisco on the Gorda Escarpment. Okay? Roguefish N is also saying you need to have an out-of-state contact. Absolutely. In case any of you can't talk to each other, you need to be able to call an out-of-state contact. That way, if someone can't get a hold of you, they can call your out-of-state contact, and that out-of-state contact can relay information between you and anyone else that you want notified. Okay? You need to do that. Lama's Light is asking, is the tsunami warning over? Yes. It was over almost immediately after it started. The tsunami warning was over almost immediately after it started. There is no tsunami going on. A few minutes ago, I showed you a video coming out of Danville, California, showing water in a swimming pool in the back of a home, swaying back and forth in the pool. That is how strong this earthquake was. Moving water in and around this pool area over near San Francisco. That is how strong this earthquake was. Okay? Does anybody else have any questions here? I appreciate all of you mods being here with us. I appreciate all of our family members, EMA family members here with us as well. We appreciate all of you here. We appreciate all of you here. Hurricane Heather says she talked to her sister in New Mexico. That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Arnold Smith says, Hurricane Heather, if you or someone else living in the affected area and need financial support for emergency relief, let Ron know. Let me know. And Arnold Smith Schmidt will try to help you. And we have other people that will also try to help you. Okay? Now, Brokefish N is also telling you some information here in the chat. If you can't make a telephone call, if you can't make a telephone call on a cell phone, you can text a message. You can text a message. And text messaging will get through. Text messaging will get through in the event of emergency. I did that in San Diego back in April 2010 when we had a 7.1 earthquake over there in San Diego. That earthquake was out just south of the border, south of the Imperial Valley, south of the border, in Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. 7.1 earthquake. It shook all property from there west to the Pacific Ocean and north up into Los Angeles. That 7.1 earthquake just south of the border south of the Imperial Valley, shook all the way up into Los Angeles and over into Arizona. A big deal. And most cell towers were out. But text messaging worked. It worked very well. Nancy Wolfer says, Ron, Yellowstone's putting out dark smoke a couple of days ago. And now we see quite a few small earthquakes. Seems Yellowstone's waking up a little bit, or is it just you? No, Yellowstone is not necessarily waking up. That black smoke is a result of heat down below that, excuse me, down in the water table where the Norris Geyser Basin is and where the Mammoth Geyser Basin is. That heat is putting up that black smoke as a result of the heated mineral material in the water of the geyser basins. It doesn't necessarily mean anything about a major earthquake happening or even Yellowstone erupting. Yellowstone is not going to erupt. Yellowstone is nowhere near ready to erupt. There is no evidence of that at all. I want to make that very clear. There is no evidence at all that Yellowstone is getting ready to erupt. Yes, we've had tremors, and we've had a couple 2.0 plus earthquakes at Yellowstone. But so far there have been no 4.5 earthquakes happening. In order for Yellowstone to even think of erupting, we need multiple 4.0 and larger earthquakes, and it hasn't happened. Even then, in 1959, over in the Hebgen Lake area, north and west of Yellowstone, that was a 7.1, 8.0 earthquake. It was reported as a 7.1 earthquake at Hebgen Lake in 1959. Now scientists are saying it's probably closer to an 8.0. And yet, Yellowstone did not erupt. I do not believe that Yellowstone is anywhere close to erupting. Okay? And I will be one of the first to tell you it will erupt, but not right now. I don't believe it's anywhere close to that. Any other questions? These are great questions, okay? Kathy Clark says she looked at heliplots and it reached New Zealand in minutes south. In minutes. Right after this earthquake happened, there was seismic activity that was radiated away from Northern California all the way down to New Zealand, and even all the way up into Alaska, and all the way out to Iceland and Europe. That happens. That happens. Kathy Clark says dark smoke at Yellowstone's rock cooking. Basically is. Again, it's minerals being heated up by the magma underneath the volcano, inside the volcano. That's all it means. Minerals cooking. Does anybody have any questions? These are all great questions. I don't want to leave anybody out here. These are great questions. I want to make sure we answer them. Don Patoga is saying rumors have it that Russia's PO'd. Oh yeah. Putin has a right to be PO'd after what that idiot that we have as president right now, after what he did. Okay? Putin has a right to be PO'd. That war should not have even started. And I'm hoping that President Trump has shut it down. President Trump has been in contact with Putin, has been in contact with Zelensky in Ukraine. Hopefully that's going to shut it down. Okay, guys, we will be coming back on the air in just a little over an hour to give you any updates that we may have. I appreciate any and all people here giving us a thumbs up. If you want to support our channel, right beneath this video today, in the top of our program description, you can go down to our PayPal options and our Venmo option here. We have 2 PayPal locations. We also have a Venmo location where you can support this channel. We'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate any and all support we can get to keep this program on the air. When I first started this program 5.5 years ago, over 5.5 years ago, I didn't understand that it would cost money to keep it on the air, but that's exactly what it is. It costs money to keep this program on the air. I just paid $253 to my internet supplier to keep this program on the air. It's expensive. So we appreciate any and all donations that you might be able to give us. And I want to thank you ahead of time for that. Also, scrolling across our screen is our email address and also our local address here. Our local address is 104 North Green Street, Box 105, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. You can also send us cards and letters, and even send us donations inside the cards and letters. We'd greatly appreciate that as well. Okay? I want to thank all of you for being here. Missouri Boat Ride is here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Anyway, folks, we'll see you in just over an hour. Have a good time today. Be safe, smile, and even laugh. Okay? Have a good one, guys. God bless you. God be with you. Until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side of all this. See you soon. Good night.